I've been gone for a minute. Now I'm back with the jump off. Okay, so shout out to Lil Kim. Greetings, everybody. It is Tina, and I'm back with another video. I know I've been gone for a few weeks. I think my last video maybe was like a week and a half. Yeah, probably about a week and a half ago. So I have some updates that I will get with you. So today's video is going to be about my weeks 30 through 32, GLP-1, Mr. T, compounded tirzepatide update, as well as I have temporarily halted my Mr. T shots. So I'll get into that a little bit later on in this video. Now, since I'm trying to catch you guys up on so much stuff, I am going to do the weight loss numbers here. I have everything kind of wrote down. I'm going to do the weight loss numbers here at the front of the video, and then I'll explain, the rest of information to you guys later on. I know some people are just here for the updates, so I'll do them first. I won't keep you waiting. And then in the back half of the video, I'll kind of explain what's going on and where have I been and everything like that. So let's get right into it. Okay, so I think I left off, my last weight update was weeks 28 and 29. So I am currently, I believe, on week 33. So I am going to update you as far as weeks 30, 31, and 32 right now. And then we'll talk about what's going on a little bit later. So for week 30, I was down negative 0.4 pounds. Week 30, now I am on 7.5 milligrams of Mr. T. And at this point, I was taking glutathione. And then, so at week 30, I took my 7.5 milligram dosage of Mr. T, and I took 1 milliliter of glutathione. And then week 31, I lost 2 pounds, and I took half a milliliter of glutathione and my 7.5 milligram dosage of Mr. T. And then week 32, my weight was all over the place on week 32, but on week 32, I lost 2.8 pounds, and that week I took 3/4 of a milliliter, so 0.75 milliliters of glutathione and half a milliliter of BioBoost Plus. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but I want to say maybe towards the end of last year, I did a Hollandale unboxing where I unboxed my glutathione and my BioBoost Plus. And at that point, the glutathione, I don't know if it just has a short bud date naturally, but the bud date was really close, and it was barely enough time for me to take it as prescribed without the dosage being expired. So I decided to do the glutathione first, and then I decided after that, after I finished the glutathione, I was going to do the BioBoost Plus. So in week 32, that was when I took the glutathione and the BioBoost Plus at the during the same time period. No. Wait, hold on. Yeah. I actually was running out, week 32, I was running out of glutathione, and it was my last glutathione shot. And I'll get into why I was taking glutathione a little bit further along in the video. But week 32, I think I already said that, but that was when I lost 2.8 pounds. But that week I did take both glutathione and BioBoost Plus. Well, and week 32 was the last week that I took my Mr. T shot. So I took my last shot on March the 1st, and today is March the 11th. Okay, so that is all that I have as far as the weight loss is concerned. Now, if you want to stick around to find out what's been happening, and why I am temporarily halting my Mr. T medication. And I'm kind of halting my Bio Boost Plus medication as well. I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, so everything was going fine until it wasn't. Everything was going fine, but by the end of week 31, the beginning of week 32, I started to feel, I just didn't feel like 100% there. And I started to vomit. Not like everything I ate I vomited, but just like I'd vomit, and then a couple of days go by, and then I vomit again, and a couple of days go by, and I vomit again. So, around that time, it was really close to me. Well, it was very close for me to have my, I was a little bit past due on my yearly checkup. I probably was supposed to have my yearly checkup. I was supposed to have it at the end of December, but I went at the end of December before, but it was kind of like a bit of a madhouse, and I was like, no, I'm not going at the end of December. Okay, let me go back. I used to have my yearly checkups in the spring or in the summer, but last year I messed around and I ended up having it at the end of the year. But at the end of the year, people have already met their deductibles, so it's kind of like a madhouse as far as the doctor offices are concerned. So I was like, no, I'm not going to have it at the end of December. I was going to have it at the beginning of January. So that was my intention, to have my yearly checkup in January. However, I forget to make my appointments. And normally when I remember to make my appointments, the appointments that are being offered by my primary care physician are normally like 3 months out from when you're making an appointment. So for example, if I go online right now to make a yearly appointment checkup, I probably wouldn't see a date until maybe like May or June. They're like, oh, the next available appointment. You know what I mean? So you possibly could probably get in earlier if you called, or if you took a cancellation like appointment. But as far as just going online and making your appointments, most of the time it takes like 3 months or so. So I had made an appointment originally, and then my appointment was for February sometime around Valentine's Day-ish. But when I made the appointment, I had I knew that I was changing insurances, and I made that appointment in February. And then I was like, oh, I don't think that my doctor is covered by my new insurance. So I canceled that appointment. And then I later on find out that my doctor is covered, but she's not covered at the, my insurance has like 3 different tiers. They have like, I think they have like preferred, participating, and out of network. So my doctor is at the tier 2 level. So I could technically see her. I would just have to pay more because she's a tier 2 doctor, not like a preferred tier 1 doctor. So I was fine with that. So I didn't want to switch, because I've been going to Dr. Danielle probably, I don't know, over 10 years. She's been the only doctor, my only official doctor that I've had. Primary care physician that I've had since I've been here. Since I moved here. So we were locked in. Ain't no switching up. So so I was willing to pay extra to see her, but everything else that she wanted to do for me, I just let her know at this last appointment, hey, I'm willing to pay extra to see you, but everybody else, I really need to go to the other hospital system to go see those doctors. And she was cool with it and everything like that. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, normally before I go to see my primary care physician, So then I canceled the original appointment because I didn't think she was participating. But then I found out that she was participating. I just have to pay a little extra to see her. So I went on and made my appointment. My appointment was for March the 5th. And normally with my doctor, she'll put the lab request in for you to go and get your blood work done. And then once you get your blood work done, after you get your blood work done, she prefers that you have it done before your appointment, and then you guys can discuss your results at the appointment. So as far as the blood work was concerned, everything was pretty much as usual. I'm still anemic. my cholesterol is still somewhat questionable. But the only thing that was different this time was that my liver levels were slightly elevated. And she didn't really know why, but they weren't like off the charts. They were only like slightly elevated. So she said that it could have been some type of viral infection or anything, because you know a lot of shit is going on at this time. So basically, if I don't start to feel like super bad or like get jaundice or like, you know, things that show that you obviously have some type of liver going on. Basically, we're just kind of like waiting and seeing as far as that is concerned, because it wasn't that bad, but she thought it could possibly be like norovirus, or, you know, it could be a lot of things, because a lot of shit is going on at this, I'm sorry, because a lot of things are going on at this time. So I'm just gonna have to see about that. However, previously I've had digestive issues. Like way back when, in my mid-20s, I had a colonoscopy done, and they didn't find anything, but I had a colonoscopy done. So since I got that colonoscopy done in my 20s, that was not covered, it left a bad taste in my mouth. So I've been needing an endoscopy for a while. But I didn't want to get one because I didn't want to have to pay that money for them to tell me that they didn't know what was wrong with me, or they couldn't find anything wrong with me. Now, first and foremost, don't do as I say. Don't do as I do as I say. So if you really need a colonoscopy or an endoscopy or any of those things done, you really should do those. But I did not, because I was not trying to pay, I wasn't trying to pay that money for them to possibly say nothing was wrong with me. Now, I don't necessarily want them to find anything wrong with me, but if they found like a little something, like, I mean, at the colonoscopy, they were like, oh, they found like some small hemorrhoids. Okay. But I mean, you stick your finger up my butt, you could have found those. Like, I didn't need a colonoscopy for you to find those. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. But I just really wasn't trying to pay that type of money to get an endoscopy done. Even though they recommended that I had one done a while back. But however, so many people around me have been getting sick with the big C. So I just wanted to finally get officially checked out, since it was recommended that I have an endoscopy. So, anywho, back to before, I wasn't feeling bad and I kind of vomited, but I only vomited. It wasn't like, and people say, oh, okay, well, you're on Mr. T, you could possibly, you know, nausea, vomiting is a side effect of Mr. T, which it very much is. However, I only vomited after I bend over. Like, it's real weird. But, so that's why I thought it was related possibly to my like reflux, because I used to, before I even got on Mr. T, sometimes when I would bend over, like acid would come up. So it wasn't a totally new concept to me, but it was something that I had experienced before, but just to an elevated level. I had never actually threw up before. I more so just had like acid or maybe a little regurgitation type of situation. So after that, so I told her about that, and she was like, oh, well, you know, you probably really need to go get your endoscopy done, And I was like, fine, because she had already wrote me a referral to an endoscopy doctor, probably like, I'm just gonna keep it real, probably like 2 or 3 yearly checkups ago. But I was like, I need you to write me another one, but I need you to write me to this other hospital group because I can't go to your hospital group. And she was like, fine. She didn't care at all. She was like, you go wherever you go wherever, you can get the cheapest, payment. Just make sure you tell them that I am your doctor, and then they can send me the results. I can add it to your chart, blah, 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 blah. So it was a very quick moving process because I went in and I told her this on March the 5th. So she did it right then and there when I was in the hospital. When I was in the room, she did it right then and there. And then, so I had told her this doctor that I wanted to go to that allegedly had a appointment on the 21st of March. And sometimes it can be a little hard to see a specialist. But once I got home and checked everything out, that appointment was no longer there. And then the next available appointment wasn't until April the 24th. Well, there was another doctor in that practice that had an opening. I think it was supposed to be for today, actually, March the 11th. But the next day, on March the 6th, they called me and they said, hey, we got your referral from your doctor. She says that you need to see a GI doctor, Can you come in tomorrow? And I was like, oh, yeah, I can come in tomorrow. So I ended up going in on March the 7th to have my appointment with him. But anyway, so back to my original doctor's appointment with my regular primary care physician. I went in and I told, when you get, she has, they send you so many forms and notifications and stuff for you to go in and complete and everything like that. So when I completed my pre-visit information, I had put down that I was on Zepbound 7.5. Well, unfortunately, they didn't have compounded Tirzepatide. They didn't have Tirzepatide. They had Zepbound and I think they had Mounjaro. So I just picked Zepbound and then I put 7.5 down as far as what medicine I'm on. Because they always ask you at the beginning, before you go to your doctor's appointment, to update all of the medicines that you're on, blah, 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 blah. So I updated them that I was on, I put Zepbound 7.5, So when I came into the doctor's appointment, now the last time I was in the doctor's appointment, my doctor, her dad had just recently passed away, and her mood was kind of down, and I can tell her mood was down. But this time when I saw her, she was in much better spirits. Because actually the last time I saw her, her dad had passed away a few days before, and she was kind of just briefly back in town to do her appointments because she was going to go back out to her home area for her dad's funeral and everything like that. So I can tell that she was kind of down, but this time she was in much better spirits. Because this wasn't in the middle of her fresh grief. This was a year and a couple of months later. So she's in very good spirits and everything like that. And she was very happy about my weight loss. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's kind of sad. Well, maybe it's kind of sad if you're a doctor and you always tell people to lose weight and then they come back and they're more weight than they always are. So for the last 10, almost 15 years, she's been telling me to lose weight, and then I've come back and there's probably only been maybe 3 times that I've actually went that my weight was down lower than it was the previous time. But for these rest of these almost 15 years, I come back and I'd have more weight and So, so this time she's very excited that I had lost weight. And, so since I had already put down on my chart that I was on Zepbound 7.5, and then the nurse came in and she was like, hey, are you on any new medicines? And I was like, yeah, I put down, I said, I put, Tirzepatide down, and she was like, and it was this pause, and then she was looking and scanning, and then she was like, oh, the Zepbound that's in here? And I was like, yeah, that's what I had put down. She's like, oh, okay, I just didn't know what you were talking about. I'm like, okay, man, okay, whatever. So, that was the nurse. So when the doctor came in, she's all like, oh yeah, I see you're on Zepbound. Da, 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 da. How's it going for you? It must be going well because you've lost all this weight. Because at that point, like based off of their scale, I was down like almost 50 pounds. I was down like 48 pounds between the highest weight that I came in and my current weight. So she's like, oh, you've lost almost 50 pounds. Da, 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 da. And she was like, so then she just big sistered me and started talking about so do you want to go up a dose or do you want to stay at this 7.5? Now, I really did want her to take over my my Zepbound Tirzepatide weight loss journey because I might need, you know how you might need, I felt like I might possibly need more guidance and more supervision than what I would receive, you know, from some of the telehealth providers. So I had naturally wanted her to take over, but I never did get a chance to tell her to take over because she just decided that she was taking over when when I was there. So she's all like, "Oh, so do you want to stay at 7.5 or do you want to go up?" And then I was like, "Well, things are going okay right now on 7.5. So I was like, I'll just stay at 7.5. But I also was due to have my pap smear, but my pap smear technically wasn't due until August. So I told her that I would just come back in August and get my pap smear done. And we can discuss going up at that point. So she was like, fine. So she actually sent me, she sent some prescriptions to Walgreens because that's where I normally get my medicine. I don't really think that this new insurance covers Walgreens, but technically this new insurance doesn't really cover Zepbound anyway, so I was just like, what ifs? So she sent it to Walgreens, but I called Walgreens. She sent it to Walgreens, and typically when she sends something in, normally within a few hours or a day at the most, I get like a notification from Walgreens like, hey, your medicine's ready, blah, 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 blah. So I knew that I wasn't going to get the prescription filled at this point because I don't even have a Zepbound savings card. And ideally, I would like to be on vials anyway because vials are cheaper, but I didn't want to actually start out on vials now because of that 45-day requirement to, you know, get the prescription filled. So I just let her send the 7.5 prescription to Walgreens with the auto injector pen. And then I do plan on, depending on how my money end up going, I do plan on getting a savings card so I can at least try out the auto injector pen, but not at this point because I'm going to need at least $3,000 for my deductible for my endoscopy. Because at the tier 1 level, my deductible is $3,000. So, so I didn't know if they were going to try to fill the prescription or right away or what they do exactly. So I called Walgreens up like, hey, my doctor just sent this prescription, but I got to try to figure out where I'm going to get the money from. So if you guys can just hold off on that prescription for now, that'll be wonderful. And she was like, oh yeah, we'll put it on hold. But she sounded like she wasn't going to even fill it in the first place anyway. So I don't know if you guys use Walgreens for your Zepbound. Just let me know down in the comments if they are funny acting or like what exactly. Because she sounded almost like I didn't have to call her to tell her to put it on hold. Like they weren't going to put it on, that they were going to put it through anyway. So I don't know. Maybe you have to like talk with them beforehand if your insurance doesn't cover it, just to let them know it's okay to fill it. I don't know. But anyway, I figured I'd cross that bridge when I got to it. But she did write me a prescription for 7.5 Zepbound. So what I plan on doing is when I go back in August, I probably plan on going up to 10, and I will ask her at that point to write me a prescription to Lily. Can't even get together. To Lily direct for the Zepbound vials. since they are a more economical option for me. Okay. But I have bought myself a little bit of time because I still have some of my compound left. And when I went to the doctor, so now we're going to officially leave my primary care physician, Dr. Danielle, and we're going to go to Dr. Muhammad, which is going to be the GI doctor. So I'm temporarily off of the Mr. T, compounded Tirzepatide, whatever you want to call it, because I went to see the GI doctor the next day. Well, maybe 2 days after I saw my primary care physician. And he said that since I had some issues and since I do have some relatives that had like stomach cancer, colon cancer-ish, it would probably be best if they go in and do an endoscopy. And since I told him about like the regurgitation and the fluids, the backwash of fluids that come up, he said that it would be better to do the, what did he say? It'll be better to do the endoscopy, but then do the pH pill that comes with it. Now, when he told me about this pH pill, he said basically you go in for an endoscopy and they kind of like implant this pH pill. And then the pH pill is going to take readings of the pH levels for like 4 days. 4 days? Yeah. They're going to take readings for like 4 days and then you're going to poop it out. And I was like, okay. And he's like, if you didn't want to do that, we can put a tube down your nose. That basically like one piece will be here on the outside and the other piece would be down in your stomach area, somewhere down there. I don't know exactly where. And or maybe it might not go that far. I don't know how far it goes down. But anywho, you have that thing in your nose for like a day, and then they pull it out, and you know it does the same thing. But he was like, people don't really like that. People don't really like that option, so people like the pH pill better. The only problem, what he did not tell me was that I found out on YouTube, shout out to YouTube, is that when you get that pH pill, you have to walk around with this like battery pack, like remote apparatus. I don't know how to describe it, but basically you have to wear this thing for 4 days. You cannot like have it in one room and you would be in the other. No, it has to be on your person, and it has these buttons that you have to push to like log this activity. Sir, you did not say anything about logging activity. So they program it based off of what your problems are as far as your reflux is concerned. But then you have to push like a button, like when you go to sleep, and a button when you like eat, and like you're only allowed to drink water in between meals, and you just have to log basically things. And like if you like get heartburn or like vomit or like backwash or whatever you want to call it, you have to hit these buttons to correspond with the action. So I'm like, oh, he didn't say all of this, but whatevs. I've been having issues for a while, so at this point I'm just really trying to get down to the bottom of it. So he said he could have did that, or he said he could have just prescribed me like like medicine for GERD. The problem was, though, I just decided not to do the medicine because this has been an ongoing issue, and it just has areas where it lies dormant and then areas where it flares back up. And I just really want to get down to the bottom of it. And I remember at one point being on, like, I think it's Nexium. But I remember it's like one of those ones where you have to take you have to take pills like once a day for 14 days. And then you're supposed to have like 3 months worth of protection or some shit like that. But I remember doing something like that and that not really working that well. I remember having real bad heartburn with that while I was actively taking the pills. And then I remember not taking the pills and still having heartburn. And I had just started, not just started, but I had been taking like Pepcid like twice a day, in the morning and at night. But maybe I'm gonna say, I can't remember how long ago it was, but maybe like 3 months ago, I just stopped taking them. Now, the doctor never told me to take them, but I was taking them because I knew I had like acid reflux. But I just stopped taking them because I kept hearing about how people like get cancer from taking it, and you never really know. I think, especially as far as like medical studies are concerned, if one person had something, then they put it down, then they have to put it down. So maybe people, I don't know for sure if people are getting cancer from taking it, or if they're just getting cancer because they were going to get cancer anyway. That part I don't know. So, but anywho, I was just like, I'm just going to stop taking them. So, and I have been doing fairly well, just because I feel like on the Mr. T, my diet is, cleaner than what it would have been without the Mr. T. So, yeah. So, I am going to get my, so anywho, so he wanted me to come in to get the endoscopy done this week. That would have been this week, but they were already booked up, so I have to go next week to get the endoscopy done, and then they're going to put the pill in there, and then I got to walk around, and hopefully they find out something, and monitor my results and everything like that. And then after that, hopefully, Lord willing, I'll be able to get back on my Mr. T. Now, he asked me because I think I put it down on my chart, well, on the information, because like the pre-appointment information, that I was on the Mr. T, and he told me to I needed to be off of it for like 7 days or something like that. The only problem is everybody else is talking about like their doctors, well, not everybody else, but some other people I saw some other people I saw, they said that their doctor told them that they needed to be off for at least 2 weeks. So I'm like, I don't know if this week is sounding right. So I decided to just not take it, not to take the Mr. T anymore until after I have my endoscopy. So I don't know if I am going to start immediately after. Probably not, because I like to take my shots on Friday nights. So I'm probably just going to wait until the Friday after I get my endoscopy done, and then I'll start back on my Mr. T. So the last Mr. T shot I had was on March the 1st. However, this past Saturday, I did take my Bio Boost, because that shouldn't really have anything to do with like delayed, stomach empty or anything like that. But I won't take any more of that either until after my my endoscopy. So I'm going to try to remember the day after. I'm going to try to remember the day that I get it done to ask him if I can just start back on the medicine, after the endoscopy. But I guess maybe that might depend on the results. I don't know. So we will see. We will see about that. But this is the first time I met him, but he seems pretty nice. He's super young too. He's only like 39. And they just seem like a pretty busy practice. So I don't know. Sometimes I feel like with those doctors, kind of like when I went to go get the colonoscopy before, I kind of feel like, I won't say that they're like a cash cow trying to get people in and out, trying to make money like that. But, I do feel like, medicine is a business. But for him specifically, I don't really get that vibe from him, just because if I would have said, no, I just want you to give me, like some GERD medicine, he would have just gave me GERD medicine, because he asked me if I wanted the medicine or if I wanted the endoscopy. And I told him that, since this has been going on for a while, I probably had like digestive issues since like my mid-20s, it probably would be better for me to try and get down to the bottom. Is it just GERD or is it possibly something else? It just, I don't know. I feel like I have times where it's worse. And then I have some times where I just feel fine, but the vomiting was a new level that I hadn't experienced before and had me a little concerned. So this isn't goodbye. This is we're just going to hold off on that for now. But, so I'm not taking any more, Tirzepatide or, glutathione or BioBoost, until I get down to the bottom of what is going on. He did say also, in addition to that, I'm not supposed to take any like Tums, Mylanta, PPIs, like protein pump inhibitors, like no Pepsid, no none of that. He did say, I asked him if I could keep taking my magnesium, but he said I could take my magnesium, but I'm not supposed to really take any like stomach medicines, because they want to, try to get like an accurate read. I know I did have a H. pylori test because I think when I was having problems before, my primary care physician thought that it could possibly be H. pylori. And when you take those H. pylori tests, they tell you not to take any acid reflux like medicines there either. I did take the H. pylori test because that was relatively inexpensive. I don't even know that I paid anything for it, but if I did, I paid very little for it. And it came back negative. So that was not my issue. Now, the doctor that I did see when I was having problems before, because my stomach was hurting, like prolonged for like months. And then I ended up going to, my aunt threatened me. And I ended up going to like urgent care, and he did a CT scan at that point. Now this was like, maybe like 3 years ago or so, and he couldn't find anything. And he also recommended that I get an endoscopy done. But he did give me some medicine that helped with my stomach, and he said that he thought that I might have possibly had an ulcer at that point. But I took the medicine, I felt better, so I was kind of like, I'm one of those out of sight, out of mind type of people. So I'm finally just going to get down to the bottom of it to see what could possibly be going wrong with me. So, in the interest of keeping everything as far as my journey is concerned and the videoing of my journey, I'm not going to change the weeks. I'm just going to keep going. So technically this would be week 33 for me. So it's just going to be week 33. My Shotzi app would not let me put 0 milligrams down. The lowest number that I could put was 0.1 milligrams down. So I just put that down on my Shotzi app, and I will continue to monitor my weight. I know that it is going to increase. It has already started to increase because I feel like that I have a little bit more inflammation than what I previously had. I noticed that I'm kind of using my toes as a barometer, like how old people be like, oh, I know it's going to rain because that big toe was hurting. So I'm kind of using my toes as a barometer, and my toes looked a little fatter. And my foot looks a little fatter than what it had previously been. So I'm thinking I'm thinking that that's just the inflammation kind of like starting to come back as my, as the medicine levels in my body go down. Now, according to my Shotzi app, they guesstimate that I still have about 3-ish milligrams of medicine still in my system. I don't really know how accurate it is because they always say this is not, medical advice per se. But I technically was supposed to take a shot on Saturday, because normally I do take my shots on Friday, but the Friday I was due to take my shot, I actually vomited right before the time where I would normally take my shot. So I was like, I'm not going to take my shot today. I'll just take it the next morning on Saturday. So I did take it on Saturday morning. So technically, it was time for me to take my shot again this past Saturday, because today's Tuesday. But I did not take it. I didn't take it just because I had already went to the doctor at that point, and I knew that the endoscopy was coming up, and I just wanted to err, even though they said I only needed like 7 days off. I just wanted to err on the side of caution. So I did not take my I didn't take my Mr. T shot, but I did take BioBoost. And I forgot, I did say earlier in the video I was going to talk about the glutathione and everything like that. Well, Becoming Bianca was talking about taking glutathione and how it helped with her eczema. And I do feel like I have eczema on my hand. I don't know if you guys can see it that well, but I have like this patch kind of like here. If I get a little close, I have this patch. You can't really see it, but you can kind of see it. But I have this patch on my hand. I have one on this hand too, but mainly on this hand, I have a faint patch there. And she talked about how the glutathione had helped with her eczema or whatever. So I was like, oh, well, maybe I should take it too. But I had did one of those DNA tests. I did like 23andMe. And it said that I had the variant for G6PD. So I don't necessarily know that I have G6PD, but it basically says that you have bouts of anemia. And since I did have anemia and I have a variant for G6PD, I was like, well, maybe I might possibly have G6PD. That's why I am currently having this like anemia type situation, even though I am taking, I haven't taken any lately. I think my medicine, not my medicine, but my multivitamins wore out. My multivitamins ran out like last week, so I haven't taken any yet. Maybe like in a week or so, but typically I typically take iron daily in my multivitamins, and then kind of when I'm on my cycle, I try to take it twice a day during then. But even with taking it twice a day or taking it once a day, I'm still at anemic levels. Now, I am not like, I'm mildly anemic. I'm not like, I'm kind of on the, I guess that would be on the high end of low. I guess that's a good way to describe it. So they were talking about G6PD and oxidative stress. And when you look at glutathione, it talks about it helps with oxidative stress. So I decided to take the glutathione. But the blood work still came back that I'm still anemic. So that didn't really help. And the iron isn't really helping. But I don't feel horrible that I need to get like... because some people who are anemic, their anemia is really bad and they have to take like blood. I don't want to say blood transfusions, but some of them, iron infusions. I think that's what they call them. It's not that level. It's not that level at all. But I just, really need to just supplement iron. So I was doing the glutathione, and the glutathione is a little pricey because you have to pay for shipping with cold storage when you order it from like these telehealth compounding pharmacies. And it hurts when you take it. So I was like, I don't really know that I saw enough effects. But people also say that glutathione helps, not only helps with oxidative stress, but I believe they said that it also helps with like melting fat and everything like that. I don't know that My waist is getting smaller, I will say that, but I don't know if that's just the overall weight loss. I didn't really see enough results with the glutathione to warrant purchasing it. And I decided that if I do decide to continue with glutathione, I will just continue with the pill version. So that is that. As far as the Bio Boost Plus, but back to that glutathione, but I was only taking the low, which is 1 milliliters per week. So maybe I would have had better results if I would have took it at a higher dose, but it was pricey, so I was trying to make it stretch. As far as the Bio Boost Plus, I can't really say. It's still too early to say about that because I just recently started taking that, so I don't really know. I don't really know how that's going to work out, as far as that is concerned. But, so I can't really say if the glutathione really contributed to me losing more of that, or if it was just natural with the weight loss that I have experienced. So I think I've said everything that I needed to say, but basically I'm just making this video so one, I can catch you guys up on what's all been happening, and two, since I just left off, I've been on YouTube. I have only been making videos for a relatively short time, but I've been on YouTube forever, and I always wonder when you see somebody and you like get used to following them and then they just disappear from the face of the earth. So if I ever decided to leave you guys knowingly, I would just come in and let you know. I feel at minimum I owe you guys that. So I had been gone, and I normally have like a few videos a week. So I had been going, and I just wanted to give you an update about what has been happening with me and what I've been up to and why you might not see any updates soon. So probably what I'll do is I'm going to post this video. I'm not going to really do any editing. I'm just going to make my little thumbnail and post this video. And then I'll probably, the next update you'll probably see will be me talking about, like the time that I've been off of the medicine and, what's been happening with my weight as far as that is concerned. And then the video after that will probably be, well, I can't really talk that far in advance, but this next video will be about, well, I think it'll be about, well, I might talk about something else in the meantime, but the next weight update video you see will be me talking about what was happening while I was on while I was off of the Mr. T. So, what I didn't say was, since I'm going to be doing that pH testing, I was telling my aunt to try to get the best results or my money's worth. I was going to eat things that I know that normally flare my acid reflux up, just so they could have like some accurate, numbers. Like I know I get like heartburn when I eat Burger King, so I was probably gonna have Burger King. And then I asked my aunt to make her chili because her chili gives me real bad acid reflux. So so I'm going to try to eat things that I know for sure will give me acid reflux, just so they can have some some good information. I don't want to try to avoid things that I know that would upset me, just for the sake of research. And my 40th birthday will be next week. So I know for sure that I'm going to have birthday cake. I just need to order my birthday cake. I just have to order my birthday cake. I think that I am going to, maybe we should do a video about that. But I think I'm going to order one of those cakes. I don't really have a problem with Walmart cake, but I think I'm going to order one of those Walmart cakes. I think I've seen on TikTok about people getting these like heart-shaped cakes from Walmart. I think they're from Walmart. So I'm probably going to order one of those. So we're going to do that. And I think that is all that I have to say, but All of you GLP-1 content creators, good luck to you guys as you're still going forth with your journeys. My hope that this is just temporary, and he says that I'll be able to start my medicine back soon. But if not, I'll keep you guys posted. And I'll just continue to keep track of the weeks where I would technically be if I was still on the medicine. I didn't just want to start all over from scratch, because I'll be off maybe for, 2 weeks to a month or what have you. So that's all that I got for now. But I wish you guys a good luck, and all of those positive things. And we'll just talk later. Okay, bye.